Hey guys, so today I want to talk about a coin that I wish I had gotten involved in sooner, and that coin is Lisk. Lisk was originally a fork off of Crypti, and it had an ICO that raised $5.8 million. At that time, it was the second largest crypto crowdfunding event. On May 24th, 2016, the mainnet went live for Lisk, and it was available to be traded on major exchanges. Soon after it went live, for a short period of time, it was the most popular cryptocurrency trading against Bitcoin. Currently, Lisk sits at the 12th highest market cap, which is about $1.1 billion. Lisk's goal is to be the first modular cryptocurrency platform using the world's most popular programming language, which is JavaScript. They're going to do this in three different ways. So first, they're going to make dApps accessible to the existing JavaScript community. This is going to make developing on a blockchain as easy as building a website. Second, by using JavaScript, they're already using a lot of tools that are accessible that programmers already have experience with. And third, because they use JavaScript, the dApps that they develop are going to be able to run natively on the browser that you use. And this is going to require no extensions or any modifications. From an outside perspective, Lisk to choose to use JavaScript as their programming language was a smart move. It opens up wide adoption for developers and for consumers. I'd like to talk about the modular design in a bit more detail. The coin uses modules, which is the basis for the design and the construction. It allows anybody to use those designing blocks to build decentralized applications without needing to build them from the ground up. Basically, Lisk for developers is like an average person using WordPress to create a website. Instead of wasting time writing complex functions, Lisk simplifies the processes by using pre-existing components. This is similar to how plugins are used for WordPress. The ease of building, publishing, and monetizing applications can all be accomplished by Lisk without sacrificing any quality. Besides the programming language, Lisk also differs as a platform because it's opted to use sidechains. And this means that it's solving a lot of the problems that we see with Ethereum and Bitcoin. Mostly network speed, security of the network, and protocol consensus. Let's get a little deeper into sidechains. Sidechains are independent cryptographic ledgers, or blockchains, that attach to the main network but don't sacrifice the speed or the efficiency or the security of the main network. I found an analogy online for Lisk that I thought was helpful. And Lisk is like adding post-it notes to your textbook when you're studying, where the blockchain is the textbook and the sidechains are the post-it notes. From a speed point of view, all the dApp transactions will be processed on the respective sidechain, and this will alleviate congestion on the main network. An example of why we need this is Ethereum during the ICO craze. If anybody remembers doing it, you would send Ethereum and hope and pray that you would get through, but because the network is so clogged from all the transactions, it was really just, a guessing game. There's also a plus side of enhanced security by isolation. The sidechains and the main networks are completely separate from each other, so if there's a breach on the sidechain, the main network won't be affected. This will prevent things like the Ethereum DAO hack that happened like the summer 2016, when one of the decentralized applications was hacked. Something like that wouldn't occur if you were using Lisk. On a protocol consensus level, Lisk can stage protocol upgrades on the sidechains. This would allow upgrades to be rolled out progressively and much more safely because they won't all be done at once and they can be worked through. So how are those sidechains managed anyways? Well, they're secured by nodes that are hosted by delegates. 101 delegates to be exact. And those delegates are elected by Lisk holders. They operate using the Delegated Proof-of-Stake Consensus System, or DPoS. And then these delegates also forge Lisk on each new block. You've probably heard of Proof of Work or Proof of Stake, POW, but you may never have heard of Delegated Proof of Stake, which is DPoS. So let me explain that. People in the crypto community vote on who they want to run the nodes and who are those that are going to maintain the network. And the ones that get the most votes are called the witnesses. In the case of Lisk, the top 101 delegates or witnesses get paid for their service. As the community grows, it gets harder and harder to remain a paid witness because of competition. If a witness starts going offline or isn't doing a great job, people can start to remove their votes and then essentially firing that witness. Fun fact. Former Ethereum core members joined Lisk on June 8, 2016. Charles Hoskinson, the ex-CEO of Ethereum, and Steven Nureyev, an ex-advisor for Ethereum. They were brought on to facilitate product development for Lisk. So that's a good sign. So currently on CoinGecko, Lisk ranks at number 8 for product development and overall community involvement, and that falls right below Dash. There's been a pretty remarkable increase in price in November alone. It was trading at like $4 early November. It had a high of about $11, and now it's settled somewhere in like the $9.50, $10 range. The jump in price is definitely related to a few things. First of all, the reward for the Lisk delegates has just dropped about 20%. So they were previously receiving 5 Lisk for reward, and now they're only receiving 4. Every year, the amount of Lisk forged by the delegates will decrease by 1 until it finally gets to 1 as a final number, and it will stay there indefinitely. Lisk has also been touring Asia, and they've been going to meetups to spread the word about their development. There's also a beta release of their SDK coming in the fourth quarter of this year, which ideally means December. So let me explain that a little bit. An SDK is a software development kit, and it's basically just tools that allow the development of applications. And for this instance, they would be tools that help developers build on the Lisk platform. And along with that, some of the documentation for Lisk's API is supposed to come out as well. That's a really big deal. And that means that the average developer will be able to jump right into creating something on the Lisk platform. So all those things are well and good, but now unfortunately it's time to move on to the cons. The same reason that the SDK release is important is the same reason why it's a hindrance. Right now there is no actual date, and so it's pretty much just a waiting game. The second major issue is the delegate voting system. I'd mentioned before that you vote for a group of delegates and they work for you on the network. You get some income, the delegates get some income, ideally everybody's happy. However, it seems that some delegates were just not happy with the payouts and they've since formed groups. And basically this means that they're manipulating the market to have more power in their hands. Right now the biggest delegate group is Elite and they have over 55 members. They've made it a requirement for you to vote for everybody in their delegate group in order to receive rewards. Recently Elite has been trying to move people up to the top 101 that aren't in the top. And if you disagree with that and you don't think it's fair, that sucks, because then if you don't vote for them, you're not going to get any payout from the rest of the group. It's kind of frustrating that that level of market manipulation exists. The next issue is that they're only rewarding the people that vote for them about 25% of the list that they forge. And from my research, it also seems that that elite group is not contributing to Lisk's development. To put that 25% in perspective, some delegates are rewarding up to 80% of the list that they forge to those who vote for them. And they're also contributing to Lisk's development. It's a pretty crummy situation to think that there was a group of people that were that unhappy with their rewards and that they decided to monopolize the network. I really hope that they are able to figure it out, because outside of that, I really don't see any downsides to this coin. My only regret, as most people's, is that I didn't buy more when I had the opportunity. That's it for today's video. I hope that you guys found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Please add all my social media. I did recently change my Telegram to a Slack. I needed a bit more organization, and I found that the channels might be more helpful. So go find us there and come and chat.